The People National Congress reform is prepared to consider criminal charges against ministers of government or bodies who would have contributed to monies from the Natural Resource Fund being expended should the court ruled that the bill was illegally passed in the National Assembly December last. This revelation was made by Roy Stilford during the party's weekly press conference on Tuesday.
The nature and the purpose of these proceedings is to challenge not only the act but all acts done either by the board or by the minister or any authorized person under this act. The consequence of acting and the court finding that the act would be unlawful is that those funds will have to be returned to the fund will have to be reconstituted. The government, who's in power at the time, will have to bear the economic consequences.
For the first time, the country's national budget, the largest in history, was fueled by oil revenues. The passage of the NRF bill authorized government to withdraw a sum of money and use it to finance the budget. Some $126.7 billion was withdrawn. The PNC on Monday initiated legal proceedings to challenge the process of the passage and enactment of the Natural Resource Fund bill. The proceedings are intended to seek the court's judgment on a number of actions, including failure by the National Assembly and Parliament to consult the stakeholder and citizens in the enactment and passage of the Act, and the Speaker of the National Assembly allowing the bill to be debated and passed without the mace in the National Assembly and with the use of a mock mace. Leader of the People's National Congress Reform, Aubrey Norton, says he is taken aback by the government's blatant disregard of the law, which speaks to national inclusion.
The PNCR joins civil society and others in the call for a national inclusionary approach, one that respects the fact that our national endowment equally belongs to all citizens, and one that rejects the PPP's approach of domination and control with the aim of facilitating and condoning cronyism, corruption, discrimination, and exclusion.
The opposition party is also seeking the court's determination on the decision of the Speaker of the National Assembly to permit the act to proceed in the face of a petition presented to Parliament seeking time for consultation. The Speaker of the National Assembly allowing the Natural Resource Fund bill to be passed without calling on any opposition member of Parliament to debate the bill. The constitutionality enshrined right to political participation, which includes the right of citizens and civil society organizations to participate in decision-making, was contemptuously disregarded by the government and the Speaker of the National Assembly, and the decision by the Speaker of the National Assembly to allow the continuation of proceedings of Parliament without a motion beyond the hour fixed by the National Assembly. The passage of the controversial Natural Resource Fund bill was the subject of an in-Parliament protest by opposition members of Parliament who called for more consultations to be held before the bill was approved. A commotion erupted in the National Assembly, which resulted in Shadow Minister of Housing Annette Ferguson, aided by other members from the opposition bench, grabbing the mace, a significant symbol for the passage of bills. Speaker of the National Assembly, Manzoor Nadir, resorted to the use of a supplementary mace, which was used to approve the Natural Resource Fund bill on December 29, 2021. Nadir, less than 24 hours after the bill was passed, defended his decision while noting that it was constitutional for the second mace, an exact replica of the original one, to be utilized to approve the bill. He promised that sanctions would be meted out to those who launched an attack on the mace. Meanwhile, Norton also weighed in on the recent alleged illegal appointment of Commissioner of Police Acting Clifton Hicken. He chided President Irfan Ali's doctrine of necessity remarks behind Hicken's installation while labeling it a lame excuse.
The doctrine of necessity cannot. It cannot be used to excuse a flagrant breach of the Constitution. In the case of David Patterson versus the Attorney General, the courts have only recently rejected the Attorney General's embrace of this doctrine. The appointment of Hicken remains unconstitutional and is of no legal validity.
President Ali said the decision to appoint Acting Deputy Commissioner in charge of operations, Clifton Hicken, to act in the capacity of Police Commissioner is a doctrine of necessity. He believes that it is impossible for the nation to remain without a Police Commissioner, especially since Police Commissioner Nigel Hoppy has proceeded on retirement leave. Temika Rodney reporting for the HGP Nightly News.